Well, I can't think we're live.
Oh.
What are you
seeing
doing?
if I could. I see if I could balance it on my nose, but I just got covered in juice. Oh, let's not. What? Why are you sending me notifications?
Well,
Let's turn that off. Come on.
Fuck you. Well, this week we've got the lovely Francis Cosquieri.
Kosher kiwi.
Cosquieri?
Kosher kiwi.
Almost right in a nowhere near it kind of way.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Well, it's probably one of the nicer things that I've called you over the years.
Yeah, true.
It's like, is it actually Gibraltar or like Spanish or?
It's Maltese, actually. It was from Cosquieri, which was from Malta.
Mm.
Oh.
Cool.
See, there you go. There you go, Hoss. Pronounce that.
No, not doing it. Oh, for fuck's sake. We're not doing my feature this week. Not with him on. Not doing it.
Yeah.
Not happening. Nah, it's not that.
Oh,
it's
man.
not that. Right,
Have you heard the latest feature, Francis?
No, what was that?
So we've brought back Herp of the Week for Hoss, and we added a little bit of a twist. So what we do is we get someone help me out here. Marco Shea's book. Marco Shea's book of snakes. The big, that one, that absolute hefty lump. We pretty much pick a page and say, pronounce that. And we pick the worst ones, and it is just absolutely hilarious.
Do it.
The thing is that I struggle to pronounce my own name half the time. So it's not good. It's really not good.
Yeah. This by no means nobody like pronounces them anyway. They're a dead language, so it's like it's open to interpretation.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Right, so Francis, we've got a compliment for you, and this is probably the first time anyone has ever said this. Bronya said, "Eek," one of my favourite people.
Definitely the first time somebody said that.
One of them.
Okay, so before we get on to all this, a bit of housework, but before we get on to that, I want to say happy birthday to Maya. You'll notice that Mike isn't with us. It's because it's his daughter's birthday. So
happy birthday, Maya.
Obviously, he should be listening to this because, the commitment to the cause.
Bloody better be.
He bloody should. Else is a... happy birthday, Maya. So if you want to help support our podcast, then please head on over to reptileandchill.com and look at our hoodies and t-shirts for sale. And if you're on any of the social media platforms, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter at the handle Reptile and Chill. Done.
Kawaii.
Okay. Right. Over to you, Danny. I need to share stuff.
Francis, my man. So just so the viewers are aware, you keep an absolute array of guests, don't you?
A fair few, yes.
Just really quickly, just name a couple that you are looking at now.
I'm actually sitting in my lounge. So right now I've basically got a lot of rat snakes that I've actually saved from putting into brumation because you messaged me on the day that I was actually starting to put them in the fridge.
For us.
Literally the day. So just for you, I've kept them out for another week.
So if they don't breed next year, it's our fault.
Well, oddly enough, I've actually got a pair of Diones that were mating earlier, which is weird. But yeah, I'm hoping they'll retain sperm for next year. So I've got a few different Dione's rat snakes, beauty snake, ladder snakes, Scalapian snakes over there, newer Thratops that I got from Crystal Palace a few months ago, some garter snakes, hognoses, twin-spotted rat snakes, an Anterasia, a Louisiana milk snake, which was given to me by a friend of mine a while back.
It's not your usual thing.
Not anymore. I used to actually keep and breed a whole lot of king snakes and mill snakes. When I first came over to the country, they were the first that I really got into, just because of all the different colours. They kind of excited me. But to be honest, it wasn't that long before I found that all the different colours were basically the same snake in different paints. So I got a little bit bored of them after about 10 or 15 years.
So you just thought, I'll just go brown.
Yeah, pretty much. So brown is the new colour.
So here's the trick question. Do you have any in front of you that are not going to be absolute assholes on the live feed?
The Diones and twin spotters probably won't bite. The Russians will be good. I'm sure the garter.
The Russians are awesome.
If I turn around, maybe I was going to sit the other way around, but the lights are kind of messing with my phone camera. Actually, it's not too bad.
Yeah, I'll give it a second to adjust. It'll be all right, I'm sure. Yeah, it's a nice silhouette. I like that.
Now. Well,
there you go. Oh, that's spot on.
Okay. So do you want me to just start grabbing stuff out?
Snakes.
That's how I really like it.
No, right. Okay, don't listen to Danny. Right. I know your wife has gone out for a bit, right? But if you can leave your penis inside your trainer, that'd be great.
You might take exception to me exhibitioning on a live feed.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Don't tell us, you know.
Maybe if I bring over to show the vids. I don't know if you can actually see in here.
Thermos. Yeah.
That's cool.
Is it coming out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A nice bit of fringe.
Oh, there it is.
There he is. Yeah.
This is the great thing about Diones. They're just such friendly little snakes.
Go on then. Out you come.
Come on, you.
Then you just hear in the background.
It bloody bit me.
I actually get the king rats out. So this is just one colourform locality of Elafe Dione, Dione's rat snake. Oh, here's all this.
Okay, and where would you find that in the world?
They've actually got a really huge range, one of the biggest ranges of any snake. So they occur all the way from Eastern Europe, right the way across Asia, sort of through a band through the middle of Asia, all the way to Mongolia, China, Korea. So it's basically the whole.
Oh wow, yeah, that is a huge band, yeah.
And throughout that range, I mean, they occur in quite a lot of different environments. So you get them in the Primorsky region of Russia. You get them in sort of sub-Siberia. You get them Lake Baikal up to 3,000 meters.
Wow!
But for me, this is probably one of the best pet snakes that for beginners, shall we say? I don't like the phrase beginner snakes because all snakes are cool, but this is definitely one of the hardest, easiest to keep snakes that is out there.
Okay.
And there's lots of different colors of them.
And that's an adult as well.
This is an adult male. Now, usually they don't really get more than about this size. So this is about 30 inches, 24 to 30 inches. I have got one here, though, which is a female, which is the largest that I've ever seen. I mean, they are said to get to 164 centimeters. And this one that I'm just going to show you in a minute is 147, I think, which is it's pretty large. It's by far the biggest I've seen. Yeah. But she was mating earlier, so I don't want to disturb her if she's still locked.
It's a good size for a beginner as well.
Because they're small, so they won't destroy a setup. They're quite colourful as well. There's loads of different colours, and they're quite diurnal. So they'll come straight over to you if you approach the vid, as you just saw, and they're just really hardy as well.
Yeah.
Let's see.
And real active as well, because I mean that's ideally that's what you want, isn't it? Especially as a new keeper, that's what you want. You want to be able to see your animals.
Meeting, so they've been locked for about 3 hours now. I'm not going to disturb the vid too much.
Look at those nostril hair.
Oh yeah.
Right down into the snake pond. You won't get this with anyone else. Is it coming out?
Yeah. Is that the female? Is it?
That's they're both locked in there. I don't know if it's coming out properly, but there's a lock.
Okay.
I'm not going to disturb them too much. So I don't know what they're doing in November, but
are they the Russians? Did you say?
These ones are North China. The one that you've just seen, I don't actually know the locality because I bought it a few years ago from someone else, but I think it is an Altai animal, but I'm not sure. But yeah, so I'll have some. But they breed extremely easily. They're a bit like corn snakes. They'll breed at the drop of the hat. I've never had them breed this late in the year before, but
Well, you can thank Reptile and Chill.
I can see that.
Francis loves the dull brown.
The nicest colour form. I've got a baby one here.
He loves a dull brown, don't you, Francis?
I do like the dull brown.
I'm not going to get into it today.
One of this year's babies.
Oh, we're getting to see hatchlings and everything, are we?
Yeah. Not quite hatchlings, but...
Yeah.
So this is the Beijing locality, which is my favourite. Because, let me put the light on.
And glare.
Yeah.
There it is.
How well it's going to come out, but these ones are much more colourful. They've got bright pink faces.
Oh, yeah.
The face actually gets into shot. You can't see them very well here. Maybe I'll put a... So you can see there's
I
like
like that.
Along the flanks.
It's almost like it's quite garter snake-esque.
Yeah, they do actually look a lot like checkered garters.
Yeah.
This particular phase.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very nice.
And I've got 4 or 5 different localities of these. I've got Georgian ones and South Korean, Xi'an, Beijing. They're great snakes because they've got each locality can be different colors.
Yeah.
So they offer a lot to somebody who likes having different color forms. There's a lot of morphs as well. I don't tend to really go for those myself, but there are some that are still really attractive. You know, you've got red ones, black ones, albinos. This is still one of the few snakes I've actually got in a tub.
Don't tell anyone.
Yeah, for babies, but not for...
Awesome.
We were saying about garters, there's actually a checkered garter here as well, although he was out a minute ago. Don't know if it's visible.
I'll just see leaves.
Yeah, let me just get it out.
Lots of leaves. Yeah, get it out. Woo! Mardi Gras.
Just disinfect.
I don't need to hear a fully grown man say, I'm going to get it out one more time this evening.
Oh, does it make you excited, Hoss?
Oh, for fuck's sake, the Hobbit himself is here. The real Hobbit. Ricky Johnson.
Oh, is he there? What's Ricky saying?
There he is. He said he doesn't like you.
Like that, Ricky.
Heard it here first.
You know, I really wish that we could like edit those and like type our own text in there. We could have so much fun.
Yes.
Yeah,
Way to troll.
The floor, the wife is not going to be pleased when she comes in.
The former.
Yeah. Oh, she's terrible. She's more of a clean freak than Monica is from Friends.
Oh no.
I'm buttering toast. She bustles around me like sweeping up the crumbs. So this is a checkered garter.
Yeah, nice.
Another really, really great. Again, I don't like the word beginner, but it's a great pet. Very, very hardy, very easy to keep. Mm-hmm. I find them a bit nicer pets than most other garters, although I'm sure a lot of Thamnophis enthusiasts are going to murder me now.
Okay, so as a garter snake, they don't predominantly eat rodents. So what kind of thing are you feeding
that's the great thing about checkered garters. They actually like rodents, so they'll eat fish as well. I tend to try and do about a 50-50 diet with rodents and fish. But he'll also eat pieces of chicks as well, or frogs' legs, just about anything really.
Mm-hmm.
But most garters, so they don't take rodents quite as willingly. But again, you can see they're very, very calm, very, great in the hand.
Yeah, nice and relaxed.
Yep. Which, most garters tend to be a little bit squirmy, especially ribbons and so on.
Yeah.
But checkers, I just really like checkered garter snakes. For me, they're my favourite species of garter.
Yeah, very nice.
Always disinfect in between handling each animal.
Yes, good advice there.
Yeah, do you want to talk about why you do that?
Just in case there are sort of pathogens. The thing is that the animals I've got here this is almost like a quarantine room for me. I've got 2 rooms of animals here and one at my mum's house, which is where I used to live. And all the long-term animals and larger animals I keep there. And anything new comes in through the other room, which I've got all these sort of quarantine enclosures in, and then into the lounge. And then as they sort of pass through quarantine over 3 months or a year, depending on whether they're wild caught or captive bred, I'll start incorporating them into the major collection. But soon enough, I'm going to have my own place, and we'll find a way of bringing everything together, which is going to be a bit of a mission. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to just disinfection, a bit of F10 or hand sanitizer in between each snake, just in case they're carrying something that they don't want passed to the other.
Cool. Well, okay, here's a question for you. Come from Waza. How much worse are their droppings than other snakes that eat a rodent diet?
Not too bad. One of the things that I don't like about garters that are fed fish, or not just garters, but fish-eating snakes in general, is that they can smell a bit. So even things like grass snakes, garters, some of the South American colubrids have got Lygothis, erythrolamprus. They're the fish-eating snakes. They do smell a bit, so I don't actually keep as many of those as I would like. They're really, really cool and interesting snakes. But if you've got too many of them, they can whiff a bit. I find other family members don't really approve of that so much. But no, in general, you don't really notice it if it's just the odd one in the room.
Okay, cool. That's hopefully that answers it for Waza. Oh, Danny, you need to do it.
Voila!
I knew you.
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie. I've had a really quiet day, and I'd like to be cheered up. So if you get anything feisty,
you've only just woken up, haven't you?
Pretty much.
Okay, something feisty. I've got a few things feisty. We'll start less feisty and go on, shall we? Let's get the beauty snake out. Which
not like something that's just going to nail you every 3 seconds, but you know,
we can build up to that.
Something a bit squirmy.
Other people tend to get bitten a lot more than me. So I've got 3 Taiwanese beauty snakes. This is the smallest one. Again, I'm bringing down the phone. You can't really see the video on here, but and I think she is actually sleeping because, as I said, I've had all the lights off because this one's being cooled at the moment. So the lights have just gone on. A few of them are out basking. Let's see. She's not actually not aggressive.
Just quite flighty and squirmy.
Yeah, they don't
typical Thai.
Once they come out, they're actually quite good.
Yeah.
Another thing is there's so many branches in here. Getting them out is the problem. Come on.
The comms to keep in bioactive and naturalistic setups.
I mean, this would look fantastic if you could see it, but come on, you're not going to bite me, are you?
He's been bitten already. He's not doing it on camera. Damn. Rats.
This is a little bit bigger than the other snakes I've brought out, so there we go.
He's back.
There he is. Oh, she's a big girl.
This one's about 5 feet long. They do get much bigger. I mean, they can get up to 9 feet. About 6 to 7 is more usual. But they're very, very aptly named. They are really, really beautiful snakes. So they have
Francis,
rat snake. They have been classed in the genus Orthriophis for a while, but now they're back in Elathi with the other rats.
Good. So they should be.
Yeah, do you think that's where they belong personally?
Yes, it avoids paraphily in the within the genus Elathi. So yeah, I mean, by DNA, that is where they should be. But there's a lot of really interesting relationships within that genus. It is bright yellow. It just looks very.
No, yes, yeah, I can see it.
It looks
it's nice to show. It's nice to show the viewers that haven't seen Thai beauties before the very, very dramatic pattern change. And when I say dramatic, I actually mean from the top of the head there is zero pattern.
Yep.
In the top of the neck, then it changes to sort of leopard spots, and then the spots usually elongate towards the end of the tail, and then they would literally turn into black and yellow stripes to the tip.
Yep, exactly. So another name for them is the striped-tailed rat snake. So here you've got the leopard spots you were saying.
Yeah.
And then if it carries on,
elongates, get longer and longer, more black.
They're very, very long and graceful snakes. And then you've got the stripe on the tail.
That's cool.
And then it's pretty much just pure black and yellow stripes all the way down.
They're really, really beautiful snakes when they're well coloured.
And
they're
actually
great pets as well. They need a lot of room.
Very active.
Yeah, and they climb a lot. In fact, I've actually seen these in the wild, and a couple of times I've seen them. They've been up a cliff, so about 20 or 25 feet up a cliff face, and the other time was literally on the Great Wall of China. Although that was the Chinese beauty snake, 10 euros, 10 euros. But again, they're great climbers. They like climbing up walls. They seem to do quite well near human habitation. So they're very adaptable snakes.
Ever so strong as well.
Yeah, but I mean, if you want a big snake that isn't a python or a boa, something that needs a bit of room but is just a fantastic display animal, this is a great choice. They're really hardy.
Yeah.
They're not as defensive as a lot of people make out. Then again, some of the other subspecies can be. So Vietnamese blue beauties, Calocyanius, can be a bit more defensive. I mean, but I find that once they're out of the viv and in your arms, they're actually big puppies.
Yeah. I usually find once I've got mine out and in my hands, all they really want to do is get out of my hands.
Yeah, they're like
not interested in biting. They just want
to go and do stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas if you get like a king snake out, more often than not, the king snake will sort of wrap around your arm or just sort of stay put.
Yeah.
Rat snakes very much, they go where they want to go.
That's cool. Okay, so there's a few people saying that they're thinking about getting Thai beauties. So for I won't use the word minimum, but if you was to keep these, what size enclosure, what kind of setup would you recommend? For
an adult, I would say at least a 6 foot by 3 foot viv for a big adult. I mean, in general, I prefer to have vivs that are as long as the snake itself. So especially for clubrids, and these climb a lot. So you want quite a bit of height for these when they're full size. The biggest specimens I've got are actually they're in 6 by 3 by 3s, and they use everything of that room. So they're not snake that's going to fit into a 4 by 2 by 2 all their lives. You can start them out in that, but once they reach 4 or 5 feet, you're going to want something a bit bigger for them, in my opinion. And you'll see a lot of activity that they otherwise wouldn't be able to demonstrate.
Okay.
Amazing.
I mean, they've got the length of many of the smaller pythons, but they're active as well. They're very, very active snakes.
Yeah.
There are some smaller subspecies. So if you can find the Chinese beauty snake, 10 euros, 10 euros, those stay more around 5 or 6 feet. You could probably get away with a male being in a 4 by 2 by 2, although I would still recommend bigger once they're adults. Cool. But they're not snakes that can just be put into a small enclosure. And speaking of snakes that get quite big, and rat snakes, I've got another one. Although unfortunately, it's not one.
He's going to get it out now.
Yep. So this is one of my favorite snakes, period. And in my opinion, apart from the Diones, one of the best pet snakes that you can get if you can house it properly.
What are we looking at? Carinata?
No. Closely related, but and the same
can't see it at all.
This is a big Russian rat snake.
Oh, okay.
Frankie.
Nice.
I was going to say Russian rat, but I didn't think they got that big, to be honest.
Yeah, they get. This one is nearly 7 feet long. So they're a sizable snake.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's round his neck. It's round his neck.
Oh no, that's it. Stop the feed. Everyone panic.
But these are, again, another really, really hardy species. Very underappreciated. I think that the keepers that... Let me turn this around. I think the light's getting in the way. There we are. I think the keepers that do have them love them. just because they're so hardy, they're so gentle and stately. I mean, they're very regal snakes. You can't really use other words for them. They're just very adorable snakes. Again, just like Diones, they come from very, very harsh climates. You know, Primorsky region in Russia, the very northern parts of China. So they come from an extremely cold climate. So they don't need a lot in the way of heat, except for a localized basking point. I mean, this one's just wrapped around my thigh. Fantastic.
Yeah, they're quite chunky and sturdy looking.
They're very active. They need quite a lot of space to climb.
Yeah, they've got quite a substantial body as well.
Yeah, they're very girthy for rat snakes. They're fat. So I mean, this is almost as thick as my wrist.
That's because you've got little girl wrists.
Little stick wrists, yeah.
Yeah, strong animal. I imagine incredibly good for climbing and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, they're very, very good climbers. And like all of these snakes, I'm showing you rat snakes, especially Eurasian rat snakes, but also corn snakes and North American ones. They climb a lot because they eat a lot of eggs and small birds and chicks. So they've even got modified spinal protrusions that will actually allow them to help pop eggs. So even Diones, which are quite small, they actually really, really love birds' eggs. The Japanese rat snakes, they'll show you in a minute, again, very, very big bird egg lovers and eat small birds. So that's another really great way of enriching their diet. So you can feed them rodents, you know, up to the size of a rat, but they'll also eat chicks, quail, their eggs. You know, they love all that kind of stuff. So you can even put like those fake finch nests in their vivs with the eggs inside, and they'll go in and take them, which is always fun to watch.
Oh, look who's just turned up.
Can you do my kid's next pumpkin? No.
Absolutely.
Can we? Right, so we can watch the live feed, but he can't come on with us.
I can't even see them.
Another related. I'm sort of going more for Asian rat snakes. They're all in the same level. I'll get another species of rat snake, yeah? Just because I think they're such good pets. I mean, people go for corn snakes a lot. And that's great, because corn snakes are fantastic snakes. They're beautiful, they're very hardy. But there are so many other species that you can keep that are just as hardy, just as easy to keep and breed.
Okay, so whilst you're gallivanting around your room, a bit of a question for you. So,
sorry, I didn't hear that, Danny.
Danny, my name's Hoss.
Oh, Hoss.
That's just like. Okay, so I'll ask you a question. You can talk about this lovely specimen and then answer the question. So obviously, with what IHH does, you're very progressive with the hobby, trying to push things forward. And I think over the last couple of years, I personally think that husbandry has taken off, and people are starting to try and understand things a bit better now.
Yes.
What do you think is going to happen within the next 5 years regarding the hobby and where we stand with it?
I think that lighting and heating are going to be looked at a lot more closely than they have been, and I think people like Fran Baines and Roman Murin are spearheading that. First of all, of course, you've got the UV lighting, which is something that I've always gone after, but not just UV, but the different components of sunlight. So UV only accounts for about 12% of sunlight, and far infrared, which is what ceramic heaters give out, I think is only about 7%. The rest of it is visual light and near infrared, which is something that Roman Murin in particular has really brought to the attention of a lot of people on AHH and Reptile Lighting and other groups like that. So I think that people are really starting to look into how they heat and light their reptiles in more depth. You're already seeing some great new equipment come out, like Arcadia's deep heat projectors. You're seeing a lot of recommendations on which specific brands of light bulb and halogen to use. I think that's going to reinvent the way that a lot of people keep their animals. I think also how we provide visual light, not just UV, but also the Kelvin, the color temperature of light, and its effects on the various animals. When it comes to snakes, I used to be a little doubtful that the actual light brightness was actually that important, unless it was for things like Samophis or coachwits, whip snakes. But it certainly does seem to improve their activity and behavior in a similar way to the way that it does lizards. And with lizards, it's a paramount importance for many families. You know, iguanids, agamids, lacertids.
Well, okay, cool. I think you answered that quite well. Okay, so I'm guessing this is a Japanese rat snake.
This is, a Japanese rat snake, Elaphia climacophora.
But you can't say that. I bet you can't say that with a dick in your mouth, can you?
I'm not going to try, so no volunteering.
I bet you can't say it full stop, Hoss.
Not at all.
These, again,
I could probably say it better with a dick in my mouth.
Oh God. Is that the female, Francis? Did you say?
This is a big male.
Oh, it's a big male. He is a big male.
A very big male with a big head.
He is a big male.
Actually, some years I'm basically up to my hips in them because they are very hardy. They're willing breeders, but no one ever seems to want too many of them for some reason. Like they're the kind of snake everyone will say, "Wow, that's really cool," but when you offer some for sale, nobody ever really snaps them up, which is a real shame.
That's what keep in mind.
really great pets. I will say that unlike some of the others, these have got a feeding response that has to be seen to be believed. They will try and eat anything. So I probably had more bites from this species of snake than all of the other types of snake combined. And when they do grab you, they latch on. They won't just sort of nip and let go. It's a feeding bite, so they'll try and swallow you. So I've had fingers, swallowed and eaten up by ambitious Japanese rat snakes.
You know, it's because it's Japanese. The Japanese will eat anything, mate.
Oh yeah,
they will.
You know what I mean? So.
But again, I mean, you can see it's just once it's out of the viv and it knows it's not going to get fed, it's just perfectly calm, curious. I mean, and that's the great thing about so many rat snakes. They're just very curious snakes. I mean, a lot of people would overlook these just because they're kind of like a dull olive green. Although some of the localities, the Kunashir Island ones, have got sky blue heads in the breeding season and can be quite bluish. All of those are brumating at the moment. But they get overlooked, and it's a real shame because they've got very similar care requirements to corn snakes. Maybe a touch cooler ambient temperatures, but just as hardy, just as easy to keep.
That's cool. That's cool. I've got to admit, I remember seeing John Campbell. He posted some a while back, and then obviously about a year ago I realised that Danny kept him. But I'm not really into colubids as such, but jack rats are cool.
Yes. And again, like
they're probably my favourite. They're probably the favourite rat snakes that I keep. Definitely.
They're very personable snakes.
Yeah, they really are. I don't know why. It's really weird. I have like an extra bond with mine.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like sometimes there are some that you just want to, I don't normally handle snakes very much, but now and then there are a few that I just like to pick up and let crawl around, and this is one of them. You really want to pick up the Carinata, don't you?
Well, we've got enough time for one more, maybe.
Just one. All right.
We've gone 3 minutes over, but
we're going to have to do a longer special in the spring with more of the collection then. Okay, so this is maybe not so much a good beginner snake. This is, although it is one of my favorites. This is where is she? And one of the most beautiful, which is the king rat snake, or as they are sometimes known, the stinking goddess, which is a name that doesn't really inspire a lot of trust. I'm going to get it in the neck from Jenny when she comes home, and this thing is mussed all over the house.
I hope I don't miss this. My phone's about to die, and I've just realised my charger isn't working.
I'm totally blaming you guys if she does.
Yeah, we'll take the blame.
There you are.
We've been blamed for a lot worse, trust me.
Oh, there she goes, and that smell. So this is still quite a small one. She's trying to nail something.
Yeah, she is.
Very, very brightly coloured yellow. I don't know how well it's coming out on that feed. My phone's a bit shit.
Oh, it's that head. The head is just awesome. Amazing.
Thinking about it.
Yeah.
So she went for it.
There it is.
She's after you. She is. She can see you and she's going up.
That's you, horse, that is.
She's after.
Nah, that's definitely you, Danny. You look like a rat, mate. That's what it is.
Oh, that is awesome. Yeah, that's what we want. Look at that.
But yeah. So
Pure
again,
attitude.
these can be fairly irascible. They can calm down. I mean, she's actually very rarely bites me. She'll do a lot of bluff striking like this, but don't you dare!
I can see your chin.
Yeah, look at that nice big spare coil she's got there as well. She can probably get your chin from there.
They've got that very interesting head for a rat snake. So a lot of them have got almost like cat size, so they're oval shaped rather than just round.
Yeah, the nose actually dips down real low, doesn't it? And there's not a lot of contour to.
They actually snarl, so they actually will lift up their labial scales and actually sort of snarl at you. There you go.
The patterns look like, the top labial patterns actually look like fangs, like a row of fangs.
Labial sutures.
Also.
Oh, we can hear a hiss. But very, very cool snakes. Again, not this one. They're very hardy, make great pets. I'm not sure I would recommend one to a beginner, simply because they are a lot more irascible than most other snakes. But
you can say it. You can say it, Francis. They're arseholes.
Yeah, you can say it. They can be arseholes. I love them. They're actually one of my favorites, but they're not for everyone.
They're king arseholes.
Yes.
Oh, amazing. Absolutely awesome. Love them. I'll definitely keep them one day, I think.
Don't you dare. She's looking at my little finger now. I'm not going to let you.
I think we should allow it, to be honest.
Yeah, just allow it. Just for the entertainment. No, don't do that.
Yeah, we're not into clickbait, Danny. Right, so I think that's about it for this week. Francis, thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay.
Well, you can come back on in a couple more weeks.
Let's say in the spring when everything's back out of brumation, and we'll do a special, a longer one.
Definitely. Yeah, we're 100% up for that. 1,000,000%.
Okay, so just a little bit of homework. Obviously, happy birthday to Maya. Danny is our wanker, and if you would like to support the podcast, then please head over to reptileandchill.com and our social media stuff. So you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter at the handle Reptile and Chill. Until next time, love you, bye.
Love you, bye. Thank you, Francis.
No problem. Nice to meet you.
Okay, guys. Bye.
Bye. You haven't bitten me. I just want you all to know that.
Yet.
Love you, bye.
Now, can we get you to do the heart thing properly, please, mate?
Oh, you know that she's going to bite one side of it. Okay, there you
go. Oh, there it is. Brilliant. Oh, man.